Cardinal family, I'm excited about what we're going to talk about today. And the reason why I'm excited about it is because I have seen so many good things in our classrooms. We have immense expertise within our own walls, within our own district, and I think we need to capitalize on that in a big way. I'm as excited about what I'm talking about today as almost anything since I've been a Cardinal. On our March 14th day, it is going to be 100% Crete Public Schools staff developed, Crete Public Schools staff delivered. What do I mean by that? I am asking you to share your expertise. Now, within this update, you will see a Google form, and I want you to have a look at the Google form and all the different possible topics we already have identified on there. And there's also a button for other, a checkbox for other. I want you guys to share your expertise with your peers so that we can all do more of what we are already good at. We can all do more of the great things that I have seen so far. So have a look at that Google form, and I want you to think, what is it that I have of value? And by the way, it doesn't need to be just you alone. If you want to draft a couple of your compatriots into this and have a group of 2 or 3 presenting, that's great as well. Option for that on the form. So have a look at it. But I want you to think about what you could possibly share with your peers in the district when it comes to professional development, when it comes to instructional expertise. There is so much that you could do. This might be something that you've been doing for years and you are world renowned at your expertise in this. It might be something you've just started to do this year and your proficiency is just emerging. And you want to share what you are learning and that process. Both of those and everything in between is valid. So have a look at the form. Think about, what do I have that is of value that I could share with the staff on March 14th. Now, I'm also going to ask you to do a favor, because sometimes people need a nudge. If you know a peer who you're like, what they're doing in the classroom is really legit, but they're going to keep this low key. They're not going to think that they need to share. Go validate them and say, hey, you know that thing you do with your students? More people should know about that. You should teach more people how to do that and encourage them to present. By the way, I would not be surprised if maybe some of your principals are already planning on doing that. So look at the form, think about what you could submit for a proposal for possible staff developed, staff delivered professional development on March 14th. By the way, I hope we get a whole bunch of them. My guess is we will, and we probably won't be able to pick them all. So if you don't get picked, that's all right. Hopefully this isn't the last one of these that we are going to do. I am going to let you know that when I pitched this to some of our board members, one of the first things they said is, well, can we provide some additional compensation? So yeah, I think that's going to work out. Right now, I know we're starting with, if your proposal gets accepted, receiving 2 additional hours of compensation for your work. So that's a good start. I know when I have been asked to do this for districts that I have worked for, they were like, that's your job today. And the check stayed the same. So shout out to our board members for saying, we're asking them to do a little more. Let's see if we can compensate them a little bit more. So have a look at the form. I don't have a clear deadline on it. Might be December-ish or January-ish. Shortly after we have the deadline, we're going to see who we select for those proposals. And the structure of that day is fluid right now because we need to see how many proposals we actually get and how many we want to accept. But the schedule should be firmed up pretty soon after we get back from Christmas break. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited for you guys to share some of the great things you do in your classroom with your peers. I'm excited for all of us to learn from each other. So often you hear you have to drive 50 miles before somebody thinks you're an expert. Not the case. We have so many experts right here. We're going to make sure that we learn from each other, and we're going to make sure we validate that. All right. So I have. Maybe I'll see you at the open house over at the Cardinal Welcome Center today. Other than that, have a great weekend and hold fast, Cardinals.